The Billy Joe Rubideoux Bobby Jean Song Contest, William Hovey Smith, 2016. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting and also the owner of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. Now, we also have a function in producing custom-made Billy Joe Rubideoux knives, which you will hear more about right now.
I'm Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and also the owner of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. And we also produce a Billy Joe Rubideoux line of knives. And today, I'd like to tell you about Billy Joe and how this line of knives originated. Billy Joe is a Cajun, and he was born in Plaquemine Parish on the lower end of the Louisiana Delta down below Lafitte, Louisiana. Not Lafayette, but Lafitte. Lafitte is where the road runs out. Beyond there, there's nothing but water, swamp, bayou, dredge canals, oil pipelines, gators, etc., etc. Well, that's where Billy Joe grew up. And he was among 5 kids to a very abusive and domineering father. And finally, things got so bad that the state came and they took the children away. And Billy Joe was a bright kid. And he did well in high school. And as a matter of fact, he won a Pell Grant to Louisiana State. And there he majored in engineering and decided that what he wanted to do was to build a factory somewhere down in the parish and do something that would uplift the general population, give them some work, let them make some money, rather than just barely trying to scratch through and survive, working a little bit for the oil fields, catching some fish, catching some gators, and doing what they had been doing for generations just to get by. Even in Billy Joe's time, things had gotten worse. The swamp continued to disappear. More and more of their land was underwater. Each storm system took more and more of it away. Finally, most of the old home place was gone, except for a couple of trees, one of which was an old tea olive about this big around that he rode out a hurricane by clasping it up in the top of it and hanging on for dear life. But that tree was dead. The old family cemetery was mostly underwater now, and the only one tree standing there was a bit of old cherry tree, and he salvaged the wood from that, and he salvaged the wood from that tea olive. And he sort of stacked that up at his uncle's place. In the meantime, he was in school and he was doing good, and he finally figured out what he could do. Infesting the lower Louisiana Delta was an exotic creature known as nutria. These are large rodents from South America, about this big, and they were brought in supposedly to be a fur-bearing animal and also to provide meat. Well, the Cajuns ate the nutria, all right, but nobody wanted the fur. That is, until fairly recently, and the Chinese wanted the fur, and the Chinese wanted the meat. And the state of Louisiana was paying a bounty on each of these creatures if anyone would send them the ears. Okay, so he hatched a plot. He got financing from China, he built a factory, he made Nutria Burgers of Louisiana. He did fairly well with it. He sold the meat to China, he sold the hides to China, even the bones were ground up and calcined and used as fertilizer, so everything was used and everything was going pretty well. Until Katrina. Well, he stayed down there and tried to defend the factory unsuccessfully. Although they did try to sandbag it, it was just completely overrun. He barely got out with his life, and if he was going up the river to get away, to escape to higher ground, he was greeted by a flotilla of coffins floated down the Mississippi River, and among them, although he didn't know it at his time, was his own mother's. Well, so he made it out, but everything he had was gone. Now, he had always been a very inventive guy. So his uncle was also killed during that hurricane. but his uncle left him a little bit of property up on higher ground. So the hurricane did another evil thing. It killed off most of the nutria. His food base was gone. So that idea wouldn't work anymore. So what he did was salvage what material he could, made what tools he had to have, and he built a barbecue shack. And he started making barbecue. And this barbecue and other Louisiana specialties he made and started selling up and down I-10. Now, there was a little bit of a problem. Because he got his meat where he could, and not necessarily during hunting seasons, and not necessarily legally, at least not by state to Louisiana laws, that is. Well, he was getting by. His material along I-10 was becoming better and better known, but unfortunately this attracted the attention of both the state fish and game people as well as the state health department. In addition, his wife left him, took his son, and was demanding alimony. Rough. So what to do? He had no way of paying off this money. He had no way of paying his wife. Everybody was hounding him. Everybody was on his case. He'd been trying to do good for everybody, but it just failed despite his best efforts. So what he did was he sold everything he had. He got a stack of money. He put it on the table. He took one of his homemade knives. He plunged it through the top. He took a pirogue. He took a Bible. He took a pistol. And he took a bottle of rum and a pole, and he went out in the bayou. And he was never heard from again. It is assumed that somehow he drank the rum and read the Bible and blew his brains out and fell in the gator hole, and the gators got him. And some years later, a pirogue was found that had a bit of a bottle of rum. So that was all that remains of Billy Joe. Well, so what we are doing with our Billy Joe Rubideoux line of knives is we're doing just what he did. We're taking salvage steel, salvage material that people might supply from their home places, and we're making useful, functional cooking implements out of them. We made a chef knife out of an old scythe. Also a bread knife. Also a little paring knife. And other things. So if you have materials that you want made into a knife out of your own home place, yeah, send them to us, and we will work up custom knives according to the characteristics of the material and give you the best sort of blade that we think we can make from it. Now, in addition, I have a contest going that goes from now until May 15, 2017. So if you're hearing this before then, if you're a songwriter and performer, make a song, make a CD, and send it to me. The prize is $500. And then, if you have enough material, we'll even cut a CD album. Yeah. We'll record this, others of your song, enough to make about a 30-minute CD. We'll do it through CD Baby, and we'll cut you an album. If it sells, if we can get royalties on these individual songs, then in addition, we'll split the royalties. So if you're trying to get in the country song market and know, well, what do I do and how do I do it and all this kind of good stuff, all right, first step, send me a winning song. And who knows, maybe you'll be on your way. But now, this is Hovey Smith reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
Here is a quick look at a few of my published books. The song must be titled The Ballad of Billy Joe Rubideoux, and it can be country, rock and roll, or any other type of material, so long as it has lyrics, tells a story, and mentions the use of his knife. Now, when you have your song ready, there is an address when you can write me by email, and I'll give you instructions for mailing it. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 550 YouTube videos, you can go to my website, www.hoviesmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.